introducing myself now. And now we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the show. I've got with me, this is a rare treat. Known this individual for some time now. We talk behind the scenes. He's very much kind of a special operator of cryptocurrency and of promotional stuff. Like, you can airdrop this guy in behind enemy lines, and when he comes back out, not only will he have your POWs, he's going to bring you some new MVPs for media creation in the crypto space. Guys, it's the one and only Adam Charles. Adam, how the heck are you, man?
Well, first of all, Seth, I understood nothing you just said. That whole 30-second intro was a lot of words and not a lot of context. Something about me being a media superstar. So I'm just going to tell all your viewers to ignore that and to make fun of you in the comment for basically talking for 20 seconds using 15 buzzwords and saying absolutely nothing. My name is Adam Charles. I've known Seth since about 2017 or so. I used to work for a gaming company that switched over to cryptocurrency when the whole bull run in 2017 happened. And we did a lot of influencer stuff. We made something called cryptoinfluence.io, which was the very first free place you could go to see who was talking about crypto in the YouTube space, look at all their stats, and possibly weed out the scammers. That ran for about 2 years before the whole company went under, because that's what crypto startups do. And I've just been floating around crypto ever since. But I am admin in a Telegram group where a bunch of crypto YouTubers hang out. We currently have, I think, 175, Seth?
Yeah, last count, about 175. And
yeah, I run it with BitBoy and Crypto Crow. We're all admins, and that's a place for crypto YouTubers to go and be like, hey, what's up? You want to collaborate? Does anyone know what's going on with the YouTube spam comments? Hey, YouTube blocked me. What can I do to help? That's pretty cool. It's very off record. And that's how I get to talk to you guys every day. And that's pretty much all I do. But before I got into a career in tech, in my 20s, I was an MMA fighter. Wrestled in college until I was 24. Immediately started fighting in MMA. It's a real tough world. You don't make money until you do. But I think that a lot of things you learn doing combat sports, such as working hard, not taking no for an answer. When something seems impossible, you make it happen just through sheer will and hard work. That mental toughness, especially when like the market's crashing, for it to not affect you. I remember I was working for a company called Kava when the COVID like Black Thursday crash happened, and I showed up in the office. I rode in on my electric skateboard, parked it up, drinking a Rockstar energy drink, and just having a great old time. And my office was freaking out because all their crypto holdings were going to zero. They didn't know what was happening. And at one point, one of my managers says, I think we should all be like Adam. He seems to just be happy and just going about his work. Adam, what are you doing today? I'm like, I'm just doing my work. Why do you not care about the crypto market? I have no control over that. Just, work hard to, get it back to where it goes. You're not scared? I'm like, dude, once you've been knocked unconscious and it hit several times while unconscious, why a bunch of people are laughing at you for getting knocked out unconscious, and then you come back later to fight again and get victory, shit like that doesn't matter. It doesn't affect me in the slightest.
that's awesome. Okay, so guys, you got a little bit of background on Adam now. I mean, obviously, there's always more than meets the eye. Everybody's got their histories, right, and stuff before that time. But let's rewind a little bit back to your 20s when you mentioned you got into MMA after doing the collegiate wrestling and stuff, Greco-Roman, all the traditional education that you got in terms of knowing how to fight. Going into MMA and making your ascent from somebody who was switching styles and learning new things to then fighting semi-professionally or professionally, that happened too, didn't it? Like after that point, what was that whole journey like?
All right. So when I was at my college, I wrestled for a couple schools, but my main one would have been Grand Canyon University in Phoenix, Arizona. We're rivals to ASU. Grand Canyon's a private Christian university, but it's not Christian for athletes, because they'll bring you in on full ride scholarship if you know how to wrestle or play basketball or whatever, no matter what your religion is. So the athletes are already always in conflict with the administration and the other students who are there because it's a private Christian university. Like we're throwing, Craig keggers and stuff in the dorms, and they're like, Bless you. But while I was there, we had a guy named Efren Escudero. And Efren Escudero was our captain team year. He actually left in after his first season over in 2007. He went on The Ultimate Fighter and won it. He won the show, The Ultimate Fighter, season 8. And he did that while we were roommates. And I remember he parked his car like at our house while he was on the show. We helped him train for it and all that jazz. And when he won it, it kind of put us on the map as a place where you could go cross train MMA as well as wrestle. So that summer, a guy by the name of Benson Henderson showed up. And no one knew who Benson Henderson was. He just showed up one day and started practicing, and he was better wrestler than everyone else on the team. And we all thought that he was on the team. Like, flash forward like 3 months later, and we're waking up at 5 a.m. to get in vans to go to a tournament like up in Nevada. It's like a 5-hour drive. And coach goes, "You would have everybody?" And goes, "No, we're missing Benson." He goes, "Oh, Benson's not on the team." "What?" "Nah, he's graduated a while ago. He's an MMA fighter. He just shows up, to get a practice in." I'm like, well, he shows up every day. When we get in trouble for partying, like when someone catches us for like throwing a kegger and we have to show up Sunday to run sprints for like 3 hours, he's there. You mean to tell me he's not on the team? No. So anyhow, Benson Henderson ended up winning the UFC lightweight championship. He defended it 3 times, and he's probably known as the greatest UFC lightweight champion of all time. McGregor won it, but he only defended it 0. DJ Penn has his record is only twice, I think. And Frankie Edgar only defended it 3 times. Benson, once he got all big, he ended up helping run a gym called the MMA Lab. It was really close to my college, Grand Canyon University. And MMA Lab is now one of the greatest MMA camps in the world. Grand Canyon was kind of like a feeder program to it. Then, of course, there's Henry Cejudo, who I went to high school with. Henry Cejudo, Triple C. He won an Olympic gold medal, youngest guy to ever win an Olympic gold medal in 2008, age of 21. Then he tried to go into boxing, become the first guy to do Olympic boxing and Olympic wrestling, but didn't work out for him. So he transitioned to MMA, and he won a flyweight championship and bantamweight championship both at the same time. And maybe he'll come back and win a featherweight championship. Who knows? Maybe he'll face Conor in the future. That'd be interesting, considering Henry's like 5'3". In high school, I went to a school called Barry Goldwater. I went to a school called Maryville. We were competitors, but Maryville ran an off-season program, during summer vacation, that I always went to. We became friends, and we used to get in trouble. I remember at one point, Henry's tricked me to steal my mom's car and drive us to Vegas for a weekend. It was crazy, but it's a small world when it comes to MMA and wrestling. Everyone knows somebody and something.
For sure, man. Yeah. So on that note, I for a very short time I rolled in 07, 08, and rolled with Ricky Lindell, who has rolled with BJ Penn, of course, and did well in sparring matches against BJ Penn. Held his own against BJ Penn. Never did anything official at that time. And then of course was trained by Pedro Sauer, and when he was younger, was the youngest ever Gracie black belt to come out of the Gracie school through Pedro Sauer's school. And you're not wrong, man. It is a small world. 50 years from now, the stories that we're going to tell are going to sound unbelievable. But yeah, it's crazy. But clearly,
like a 10th degree with Kevin Bacon type deal. You know something, you know everybody.
Yeah,
really crazy.
Yeah, 100%. I don't pretend to have lived that life, though. Here's the thing. I it was almost an intellectual pursuit where I was like, man, I got to get exposure. I can't sit on the sidelines. I need direct exposure. My wife had prevented me from fighting Muay Thai in 2009 in Southern California, because she's like, you don't understand. The competition here is going to be rough. However hard you think you can hit, there's definitely a dude who's a little heavier than you, will weigh in leaner and can hit harder. For a fact. So she was all worried about
hey, Steph, you had the first step. You had the thing that most fighters, including myself, did not have, which is support. first of all, you had money to pay for your training. You had a wife who was willing to support you and probably give you nice back rubs after like practice or something. You had a house to go live in. So when I started my MMA training, it was either get a job, real-time job, or go train full-time. And I don't do anything half-assed. So I'm like, well, I want to train 8 to 16 hours a day, every day. Usually I would train around 12, including Sunday, like no days off. So I can't have a job. I need to just do this. So I chose to live in my car. I parked my car out in front of the gym and lived in it. And I lived in my car for 4 years out in front of the gym. I would just wake up in my car, go into the gym, take a shower, practice for 4 hours, go to like a 24-hour fitness or Gold's Gym, lift some weights, like kind of screw around on the treadmill and watch some TV, go back for another practice, go for like a 2-hour run, usually go out and party with the guys. Like that's how I would party hard as well. That's how I would like calm myself down, go back to sleep in my car, start up and do it again. And, and that's how I got into tech. Actually, I was 29, didn't have any money, been fighting for 3.5 years, and you don't make money in MMA until you do. Bellator at the time was paying less than $500 a fight,
Wow.
You
okay.
pay more money for the travel to get up there. Right.
Yeah.
Some of these, I remember fighting in Surprise, Arizona, in the parking lot of a Buffalo Wild Wings, right? And they had a fucking cage set up, and what I remember is you have to like take off your shoes to get into the cage, like beforehand, and they took too long with the decision. It was a split decision to fight before me. So it usually is like 90 seconds. It's taking like 3 minutes to read. And my feet were freezing. Had already taken off my shoes. I'm on like the asphalt. It's so cold. And so by the time I got into the cage, my feet were frozen. Yeah, it's a lot of like that. Have you ever seen the Kevin James movie, Here Comes the Boom, where he's fighting and it starts to rain? That's happened to me. I fought at like a fairgrounds. It started to rain and we didn't stop. Have you ever seen Warrior, where at the beginning the guy's fighting in the parking lot of a strip club and they're like handing like $300? I did that too. I fought in the parking lot of a place called Band-Aids in Scottsdale, Arizona, and they paid you in bar dollars. You didn't even get any money because here's the thing. You kind of pay the promotions to fight in a way.
Sure.
You need to build a record. You need to build a record to get from a regional promotion to like a tier 3 promotion where you can start getting some payment and then eventually build a record there to get to a tier 2 promotion. It would be like a Bellator or PFL or Risen. And then eventually to UFC, which is the only game. It's the only top tier promotion.
Got it. Okay.
But sometimes those spots are competitive. So you'll actually pay the promoter for a chance to go in there and fight. And you do this by selling tickets. They'll be like, hey, we got only 10 spots on the card. There's a lot of people who want it. If you sell tickets, here's tickets, you sell them. And then whoever sells the most tickets can get on the card. So in a way, you're paying them to get on a card because they'll take like 75% of your ticket sales and you only get like 20%. I remember going to a mall and just like handing them out like I don't know, like a used car salesman trying to get guys to buy tickets just so I can hop on a card. I ended up selling like 5, which got me on the card, and I collected like $15 from doing that, and that was my payment.
Oh my gosh. And you worked for the privilege.
This is why crypto is important.
Heck yeah, man. So, but 4 years of due paying though. So
Yeah.
in your story, 4 years of dues paying, sleeping in the car, showering in the gym, going to all the different classes you could go to so that you could roll, you could strike, you could do combo, you could spar, you could have free gym time, roll with whoever, and you just did everything, but also get the instruction from the experts there, whoever was the master at that particular like outlet dojo gym. So you were doing it all to get all that time in time on task, so you'd grow the skill set, but then also doing exhibition matches in the parking lot of Buffalo freaking Wild Wings. Good grief. If that's not dues paying, man, I don't know what is. So So if anybody's watching right now, first off, this is live, guys. This is a live stream. So the Deadwood, I see you talking about growing up watching boxing and then getting into UFC after you were in the Marines and seeing all that. Mayank, Cryptos Chain, thank you so much, Claudio, for being in the audience. He's got some questions about cryptocurrencies, which maybe we'll bring up later on. But guys,
Cryptos Chain's in the audience.
Claudio's right there. He's watching you, man. He's curious.
All right, man. Well, you can tell him that I'm sick of his little generic Zoom background. I want him to get a studio and some actual lighting. That'd be really, really nice. You hear that, Claudio? Do it now.
Yeah, there you go. Little bit of lighting goes a long way. I'm literally in a warehouse like studio office. So
he gets back to me. I want to respond as we go along.
So guys, but just queue up your questions for Adam. It can be all things MMA, it can be all things crypto, it can be all things promotions related. And that's why we had to have this conversation. Adam, when I saw you on Telegram say, hey, I want to talk about this UFC thing, I knew we had to have this chat. We needed to do it live. We needed to be interactive with an audience. And I mean, it's just fun catching up too. So we need to broadcast this stuff more often anyway. So let's get to the main topic of the hour. 2 days ago, UFC made this big announcement, finally went public with a brand or a kit deal that they did with Crypto.com. $175 million deal for, it was 10 years, right? 12 years. Let's talk about this, man. What does that mean? And from somebody who's done that dues paying, who's lived that life, who's been looking at like, okay, it's not a glass ceiling per se, but there are tiers here. Like, I'm tired of being here. I want to get to here. I want to level up. And you're hungry. You're putting in the work. What does a deal like this mean to the fighters? What does it mean to UFC? What does it mean to Crypto.com?
All right. Well, I'll start with the bad. It means nothing to the fighters. Nothing at all. The fighters don't get an ounce of payment from that. None of the money goes to them. When they had the Reebok deal back in the day, they got like Reebok outfitting stuff. And like, if you had like 20 fights or more in the UFC, which is less than 100 of the 800 or so UFC fighters, and you got like 20 grand a fight. If you had less than like 10, you got like $2,500 a fight, which was peanuts. Back prior to the Reebok deal, fighters to get their own sponsors. I know that a guy here in Arizona I used to train with called Ryan Bader. He used to be able to, he only got paid like when he was starting at UFC, he got paid like 15, but he could easily bank $60,000 to $100,000 on sponsorships just by like, hey, I'll put your logo on my shorts, I'll put my logo on my banner. If I win, I'll give you a shout out. If you were smart, you can get a lot of money that way. But UFC wanted their cut. So they were like, well, here's the deal. You can pay us 60 grand and then you can have your logo and then you can pay the fighter whatever you want. So what happened is these mom and pop shops that were only paying like $5,000 to $10,000 for a logo couldn't do it. And these big, huge things like, like Xbox from Mighty Mouse who paid UFC $60,000 so that Mighty Mouse could have the Microsoft logo on his back of his butt. And then Mighty Mouse would get like 20 grand. So it was really, really bad. And then when the Reebok deal happened, all that went away. And a lot of fighters lost most of their income. It's the same thing with Crypto.com. They don't get any money from the deal. And but if you're a popular fighter like Conor McGregor back there, or if Dustin Poirier beats Conor McGregor, you can get a personal sponsorship from Crypto.com. It means you'll start being in commercials, and they'll start having Conor McGregor before the Mind Your Biz F Estrada YouTube channel. The little ad that plays like Crypto.com, get your currency, proper 12. Khabib sucks.
yeah, right. Hey, and just for the audience's benefit, guys, when you do see those ads, I'm not endorsing the UFC. I'm not endorsing Conor McGregor. I'm not endorsing any of the fighters. But when you do see those ads, do me a solid. Click on them anyway. It helps channel out. Every little bit counts.
Get them by talking about this, by talking about this and tagging this correctly. And when Crypto.com do start running those ads, which they will any day now, they're going to target your video like that. So. I mean, it's probably better than, I don't know, having like, what's the worst ad that plays you've ever seen play on YouTube?
Oh, it's almost definitely Ty Lopez.
All right, well, better than fucking Ty Lopez.
Just saying, man, because it like so many like overlapping audience segments, right? And it's like, and there's Ty Lopez again.
Lopez in the face, oh my lord. Ty Lopez actually, a little rant, but there's a guy named Shane Carwin who was an interim UFC heavyweight champion. Shane Carwin got into a spat with Ty Lopez. Shane Carwin is a Redditor. He likes to troll on Reddit a lot. He got in a spat with Ty Lopez and actually went to Ty Lopez's house to fight him. Found out the house was rented. He was like live streaming, like, this house that he shot the commercial to get this house is empty. It's being rented for like commercials and shit.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I didn't realize it was that, like the rental, like we have whatever hashtag laptop lifestyle, all that crap. I didn't realize it was rented to that level. That's sick.
Well, okay. He also fight with a UFC fighter on Twitter. So you probably don't want to do that, especially once he's retired and has nothing better to do with his life.
Dude, right? He's probably got good insurance. He's probably in whatever shape he wants to be and can choose, the date. Man. Okay, so fighters then, you're saying with this deal, fighters this means nothing to them. It's business as usual. In a post-Reebok UFC, it's like same deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than Reebok in general. I believe, and I'll get to the positive, I believe Crypto.com, especially because I believe there's a lot of overlap, as it kind of went over, between crypto and fighting, the whole decentralized mindset, anti-authoritarian, it's a different kind of underground mindset. I think they'll understand the sport a lot better than Reebok did. Reebok didn't care at all. When Reebok deal came out at first, they were misspelling like fighter's name. They're like Anderson, the Spider Aldo. I'm like, what the hell? I'm in San Francisco. I train out of a gym called El Nino's Scrap Pack. That's Gilbert Melendez, Jay Shield, Nick Diaz. They misspelled Gilbert Melendez. And Gilbert Melendez at the time was challenging Anthony Pettis for the UFC lightweight title. They misspelled his name on his shirt as Giblert Melendez. Giblert.
Oh my gosh.
I think Crypto.com will care. If this is the way that UFC is going to be, like super professional, they're not going to let fighters have their own advertisement. You might as well get someone to care. Reebok's gone. They got Venom to do the shorts and shirts. They care. They know fighting. They'll care how much the UFC allows them to care. I think Crypto.com will as well. If I can't think of another better industry in just period who can understand like fighters' mindset and actually help them like a cryptocurrency company can, while having to work within the UFC's corporate structure. Like, you have to play ball. And the way the UFC's corporate structure is set up to allow fighters, like their sponsor, it's just, there's not much they can do about it. But I think Crypto.com will look out for the fighters as much as possible. Now, how does this help Crypto.com? Oh, man. Well, I mean, we're going to choose a team to sponsor for the next 12 years or so, a little bit over a decade. You could choose a football team, a rugby team, a baseball team, whatever, but that's very, very locale. I mean, I'm from Phoenix. Phoenix Suns are in the NBA playoffs right now. That's really cool. But people here in San Francisco don't care. They're not even watching. It's not their team. But if you choose something like MMA that is completely global, I mean, just global, every country in the world, and it doesn't matter if the fighter's from your city or not, you're going to watch it anyhow. That's like a user acquisition tool that has no ceiling. Like, awesome. There's nothing holding it back. And UFC is only going to get bigger. It's one of those sports that didn't really exist prior to 2005. Of course, it did, but 2005 when it started taking out due to the Ultimate Fighter TV show. So really, it's been around for less than 20 years in the mainstream eye. And 12 years from now, it would be like a quarter of the time that we've already had. Where will it be? It's on ESPN, etc. So where it will be in 12 years will be just levels above where it is now. And Crypto.com will be front and center on the back of every fighter's shirt. So if you want to talk about mass adoption of cryptocurrency, I mean, that's the way to do it. And this is how it helps crypto, right? I've already said that the fighters, the fans of UFC, especially the hardcore just bleed fans, they grew up underground, right? Back when you had to trade VHS tapes to get like the Pride fights from Japan. And they live on forums. Like, internet forums have been dying because of social media. The new kids, the Zoomer kids, they like TikTok and Twitch and stuff. They don't hang out on traditional web forums. But for MMA, they're still hot. They're still there. They haven't had the descent of growth, the growth descent that like gaming forums have. because this is an underground mindset. Of course, it's mainstream, got a lot of casual fans as well. But the guys who push all the internal marketing, like online, it's all super underground. And that's the type of guy that will cross into crypto and never, ever leave. So it really helps with mass adoption of cryptocurrency.
Awesome. Okay, so you're saying total addressable market then you think is really good through this sponsorship, and you think that the conversions and the total lifetime value of people that are acquired through this marketing push, that they're going to be really good, like really good prospects for crypto.com and really good overlap then for the UFC audience.
Well, let me put it this way. You sponsor a World Cup team, right? You get a whole lot. I mean, World Cup has to be like the biggest sporting event in the world in terms of watching. I know we don't really watch in America, but everywhere else, they're ahead of the game. And but the people who watch that, like, they might see, say, crypto.com, and in one ear out the other, just straight out their head. But when it comes to the UFC, because of the audience, when they see crypto.com, what is crypto.com? Oh, it's cryptocurrency. This is something I've been trying to get into. Now they're into it. So
awesome.
the user acquisition conversion rate is going to be much, much higher.
That's awesome, man. So I've got a quick comment from the live stream from the Deadwood. He said the Portland Trailblazers got StormX logos for the next 5 years. So StormX, the crypto rewards program, something of a competitor to Lolly, if you're familiar with that. If the audience is familiar with those, apparently StormX has a deal just with the Portland Trailblazers for 5 years.
Who asked that question? What's his name?
The Deadwood is user handle.
All right, Deadwood. Why are you a Portland Trailblazers fan? No, I mean, do you live in Portland? No one else is a Portland Trailblazers fan. You live in Portland. So if Portland Trailblazers go ahead and travel to, I don't know, somewhere on the East Coast, like Celtics, and the Boston fans, which are brutal, see that StormX logo, they're going to hate it. They're not even going to like it. They might even FUD it just because it's on the Portland Trailblazers. So you're basically just advertising to Portland, which, I guess is not the worst place to advertise. I like Portlandia, but I mean, it probably costs the same amount as advertising for the UFC. The only difference is, the UFC is viewed by everywhere around the world, and there's no negative connotation depending on who's wearing it.
That's a really good point. Yeah, you're going to get that sort of tribal affinity from just the fans. And
Can you tell me why he's a Portland Trailblazer fan yet?
So in the comments section, he says, "Yes, sir, I live down the road from it, and Portland sucks." His words, not mine.
What was the context of this then? You're supposed to go back and forth with me on this. You can't just agree.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think he's brought it up because there are some sponsorships that are taking place, and they're becoming more visible depending on where you are in the world. But I'm with you, Adam, as far as UFC being the most visible worldwide representation of cryptocurrencies, this deal with Crypto.com.
With a neutral representation, meaning, it's just like NASCAR. When you hate the M&M car, but you like the Chevron car. You start associating the sponsorship with the person, and that can have negative effects. But instead, it's a branding sponsorship. Whereas StormX sponsors Portland Trail sponsor, they don't sponsor the NBA, right? Crypto.com is sponsoring the UFC.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, let's, I don't know, guys, in the comment section, let's take some bets. How long do you think it takes before there is a similar type of sponsorship for NBA, MLB, NFL? What do you think it's going to take? Tell us in the comments, guys. But while you voice your opinions, we'll talk to Adam a little more about this UFC thing, right? Because we're talking about something that's confirmed, really happening. It's not speculative. But you mentioned that this is going to be good for Crypto.com, and because of that neutral sponsorship, that neutral exposure across the board. All of the fighters will be branded with Crypto.com. And as far as UFC, I mean, let's boil it down. Let's get to brass tacks. $175 million sponsorship. You said for 12 years. The headlines I've read said 10, but you said 12.
I try to stay away from cryptocurrency news because I hate it. A lot of clickbait, especially what is Cointelegraph now? That's like TMZ of cryptocurrency. But I visit MMA news all the time, and the MMA sites were saying till 2033, which by my math is 12 years. But could be 10 years, or it could just sound better when you say 10 years. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it's at least 10 years. So let's go with that.
Got it. Okay. Hey, we got Mr. Satko in the comment section. Thanks for showing up, buddy. I didn't know you were still here. So we got Mr. Satko's cryptocurrency channel. He says Crypto.com partnership is pretty nice for sure. Totally agree. And Satko, we got to have you on for one of these live events again. I need to return that favor. Thanks for having me on that a little while ago. But yeah, I totally agree. So UFC gets 12 years of riding the gravy train, right? Crypto.com saying like, shut up and take our money. I don't know the details or the specifics of this thing outside of that amount that has been publicized, right? They have to be very public and disclose roughly what the terms of the deal are. What other benefits do you think come to UFC out of all this?
Well, like I said, the crossover, the mindset of being just decentralized nature. There's not a decentralized sport more than UFC. In fact, UFC has been trying to let me get MMA, mixed martial arts. Just like football is played in the NFL and basketball is played in the NBA, and I don't know, hanky panky played in Seth Estrada's bedroom. I
am a pro. I'm not going to show you my card. I'd get taken off YouTube. But man's right.
Mixed martial arts is played in the UFC. And mixed martial arts is a very decentralized sport. UFC has been trying to decentralize it. A lot of people say it's monopoly. There are some class action lawsuits trying to end the monopoly, such as allowing users to have their own logos and stuff on their shorts to be able to work for their own sponsorships. Because they are technically not employees, but independent contractors. So they should be able to strike deals with whoever they want. But just in general, MMA is a very decentralized sport. So if Crypto.com starts doing all these collaborations with various MMA fighters, if someone who's just really into cryptocurrency, like one of your subscribers, like the dude who hates Portland but lives in Portland and like had that terrible question earlier, like he's like, hey, like crypto might give UFC a shot. They'll probably love it. Just the whole nature of these individuals just started from the bottom, out for themselves, doing whatever it takes to get themselves to the top and trying to make money. It's just a very underground, decentralized mindset. So I think that it will bring UFC some user acquisition as well. Now, hey, I want to switch topics. So we don't know so much about the Crypto.com deal,
okay,
but I do know about past crypto deals with MMA that have gone awry, which is why we don't see them so far. First of all, the very first, from what I understand, foray of crypto into MMA came from Bellator when I believe John Fitch was wearing Ripple on his shorts, and then Rory McDonald was wearing Dash. There was a welterweight Grand Prix that was won by, I believe, Douglas Lima, beat Rory McDonald in the finals. So it was a tournament. And two were officially sponsored by cryptocurrency, and one was semi-sponsored. In late 2019, I was on Crypto Crow show, my last time being on a YouTube show, because I only come up to talk about MMA. I was on there with Johnny Kim from Litecoin and Crypto Crow, and what happened is that we had just, or Litecoin had just gotten a UFC sponsorship to put Litecoin on the map for the John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson fight. With John Jones' first fight in 3 years. I remember John Jones was supposed to fight him in Vegas, but tested positive for a picogram of steroids or something. So with 48 hours, they moved it to LA, and obviously they needed new sponsorships. And Litecoin came in and put their logo down. So we were talking about that. And on that show, I invited a guy named Ronis Gracie, who is from the Gracie family. Ronis Gracie is super into crypto. He has his own hedge fund. He invests into crypto. He has his hedge fund based out of New York. I met him because he traveled to San Francisco, where there's a big, huge gym called House Gracie's. He rented out, he closed down the gym, and then went on LinkedIn and Googled people who had crypto and MMA experience and found 3 of us and invited us to the gym to roll for a couple hours.
Nice.
That was really cool. But I got Ronis Gracie on there. And a guy in the tournament was a guy by the name of Neiman Gracie. And Neiman Gracie was going to fight Rory McDonald, who is Dash. And of course, Johnny Kim's on there pitching Ronis to get Neiman the Litecoin logo, so we can go Litecoin versus Dash on Bellator. So that happens a lot. So you have those little tiny things where individual fighters who are allowed to get their own sponsors, unlike UFC, they're actually fully decentralized and can get whatever they want. And occasionally they meet, and you get an actual fist fight between two cryptocurrencies. I just love it. So awesome.
Yeah.
You can actually say like who would win between Ripple and Dash. They're gonna fight. You know what? It was a draw. It was a freaking draw. It was a 5-round draw, so neither one won. Actually, I put Ronis is in the group we're in, and as is Rory McDonald, the influencer group. I don't think Rory hosts though. But the big, other than the Litecoin sponsorship that Johnny Kim and Charlie Lee were able to pull at the last second there, was awesome. The second time that a cryptocurrency company tried to really integrate with MMA was something called Battlefield FC. Battlefield FC is an Asian promotion. I think they're based in China, but they have their event in Korea. Battlefield FC has 2 events. The first event was a disaster, made no money. So the second event, they tried doing a thing where they, I don't know. So there's an article, I'll give it to you. You can post called A Brave New World. It's on Sherdog.com. And it talks about basically how Battlefield FC was going to decentralize their payment structure. So they were going to pay the fighters in their own cryptocurrency. And basically, you would incentivize to have more exciting fights. So if you got a knockout, then the price of the crypto went up. But if like you're the first fight on a card and you got a knockout, the crypto goes up. And then the next like 10 fights or decision, it goes down. Then at the end, everyone gets paid based off how good the card was. And it was supposed to incentivize all the fighters have deciding fights. Like a first round submission goes up, a boring split decision goes down. And it's based on all the fighters on the card. So if all the fighters put on a good card and the whole card is good, then y'all get paid. You get paid like 10 times more than your sponsored, than what you're contractually obligated to make. And that helps the promotion because, it means everything's exciting. And that's what they have over everyone else. Everyone's trying to have an exciting fight. Of course, that's not what happened. What happened was, they weren't able to pay their fighters anything, and they went straight under. They actually couldn't pay their fighters. A guy who booked me in my fighting career was doing the English commentary over there. And they rented out a huge arena that fit like 40,000 people. They put like 100 people in it. They sold like 100 tickets. And then couldn't get their cryptocurrency system off the ground. So they had to rely on their fiat. They didn't have enough fiat to pay the fighters, and nobody got paid. I think they were trying to use crypto as a scam to raise money. They thought that by issuing their own cryptocurrency company, fans would buy it to support the fighters. That would give them fiat that would allow them to maintain their business. And of course, all the fighters bought into the propaganda that we get first round finishes and have exciting fights. The token goes up. Well, then the company themselves would then have a lot of money when in fact they had zero money to put on that show. I got involved with trying to do some marketing for it, and they were telling me they were going to book Artem Labov versus Amir Khan. And I was like, man, this is the sports version of an ICO, which is what it was. You had an actual physical MMA promotion. He had put on one like event like in 2017. Now we're flash forward to 2019. And they're trying to figure out, how do I make money to keep this afloat? Well, I don't know. Let's do an ICO. Let's basically say we're going to pay our fighters in cryptocurrency, and that if they have exciting fights, it goes up. So that's how they make money. I mean, it was a sports version of an ICO.
Jeez. Yeah. That's unbelievable, man. And I know there's some platforms, and I'd hate to bring up a dirty word, but BitClout right now that's trying to do similar things where it's like leveraging the reputation of other people, and then asking for others to invest early on to try to speculate on the reputation, sort of a reputation arbitrage or reputation exchange on like BitClout. I sincerely. Sorry to even bring that up, guys, but like what you're saying, it's very reminiscent of that sort of thing where it's like, okay, you're trying to bootstrap and you're trying to get people, trying to get investment capital from people without bringing enough value up front or getting traditional investment up front, which you need to be able to pay salaries and be able to pay for marketing venues and be able to pay for ad placement and stuff. Yeah, you gotta back things up with like-minded angel or VC groups. So. That's crazy, man. Let me throw something at you that I'm not sure if you're familiar with, if it's at your radar yet, Adam. The Cake wallet. They are not just a Monero wallet, but they now support Bitcoin and Litecoin as well. That's kind of their thing. But they are a crypto wallet. They have sponsored a couple of MMA fighters, a gal named Jessica Ortega, and a dude named Jonathan Ruel. Goes by Mr. Peon on Twitter. I've got his record right here. I'm going to send that into the live chat right now on mixedmartialarts.com. So that's guys, that's Jonathan Ruel, and I'm going to send this over to you also. But yeah, they found a couple of young fighters, up and coming fighters that they wanted to support. What do you think about that sort of thing? Where's the opportunity for fighters who are not in the MMA yet, who are still in that dues paying phase, getting their asses kicked, right? Maybe they're sleeping in cars too right now at this phase, and they're trying to make something happen. What do you think of that precedent that's being set by groups like that? And for disclosure's sake, I have no ties to Cake Wallet or the Monero development team. I don't benefit in any way by bringing this up. This is just a topic, MMA and crypto.
Well, so I know when I get I'm in the industry, I do a lot of marketing. I always try to get paid in fiat. I don't accept pure currency, but I like currency on top of fiat. A lot of times I'll do half here, half fiat, half currency, or taking my bonus in currency. And if you're going to be working with a project, you should have faith in it. And if anything, you should have faith in your own abilities to help rise the price of that token through your own work. So it's good to take tokens. When it comes to fighters, it's kind of the same thing in my mind. When you get your sponsorships, you should always get some fiat. But if you get this token on the end, and I mean, when it comes to companies giving out their own native token as any form of for contractors, employment, or giveaways or whatever, to them it's almost like fake money. What I say by that is they give it to you so you can make it valuable. It has value already, but they want you to have it, hold it, stake it, and be a part of the community to basically shill it so that it goes up. So I think this is a low-cost way to sponsor fighters. And if you got a fighters that's living in their car, working out 12 hours a day, going through the grind, and there are a lot of fighters to do that. Most fighters sleep on couches, in a big car, or in the gym. I mean, they're not dumb. Most fighters come from college. Most of them all go to wrestling. Almost all. If you go look at the UFC roster, I would venture 80% have wrestling background. Go look at who's ranked in top 15. I venture it might be even higher. It might be 90% had gone to college to wrestle at some point. So they end up getting degrees. They're not dumb. You can't be a fighter and be dumb. You can't just be. Some people can. I mean, it's obviously sometimes people are going to start citing people. But for the most part, it's a thinking man's sport. Be able to manage your weight properly, and there's 4 different aspects of mixed martial arts. Really, there's wrestling, there's kickboxing. That's when your Muay Thai comes in. There's jiu-jitsu, all your submissions. Then your boxing. That's your head movement and feet. And then there, of course, are 100 variations of those 4 styles. So you have to be very smart to get it. So they're smart enough that when they get their token allocations in any type of sponsorship, to hodl it and also do what it takes to help rise it. If you're gonna I do a lot of NFT stuff, so I have to with celebrities, so I have to make up a celebrity that I know that we'll never work with. A case I can't say someone, I can't use in this example someone that we might work with in the future. So I do some stuff for Origin Protocol just because I like the team. It's very pro bono. I love what they're doing. One of my friends from college works there. We were on college wrestling together. So I do a lot of pro bonos for like their Paris Hilton, Jake Paul, Ryan Tedder stuff. You see those interviews on BitBoy. I'm the ones who send them there. So let me think of the worst celebrity I can that will never work with. Bill Cosby. All right. Bill Cosby will never have an NFT. No one's going to buy his damn NFT. All right. If you were to
you guys heard it here first. Prediction, right? MMA Guy offers prediction for Bill Cosby NFTs. Bill Cosby releasing NFTs.
Bill Cosby, right? Say, hey, we're going to make you an NFT or whatever. We want you to shill our brand and like Twitter it and I don't know, put it on your pudding pops and what else is Bill? Your sweaters. I want you to knit it into your sweaters as you do your media tours. He will dump that shit immediately. He's like, oh, well, I don't know, put in the crypto and the blockchain and I don't know, terrible Bill Cosby impersonation. Forget I did it. But he'll dump it. He'll just ask someone, how do I make this money? And there it's gone. Because of the mindset of fighters being, scratched from the bottom and trying to go through the top and finding every ounce and avenue to do so, that decentralized nature, they'll hold it. They'll hold it and they'll try to make it something. They'll view it as a way to help themselves, reach their goals. So yeah, I think it's good.
Okay, awesome. So then it sounds like then if there's anybody in the audience who is evaluating whether or not they should put some kind of their budget from a cryptocurrency or from blockchain oriented project, you say then MMA fighters, they're a great source then.
They'll not only hodl it, they'll shill it on their own without being told to, because they want it to be successful. They know the value of taking something from the bottom and driving to the top.
Okay, awesome, man. Well,
they're not privileged, is what I'm saying. They're like the least privileged athletes out there. You got guys from NBA who signed straight out of college and in the first year are making, $10 million, even if they're on the bench. And for an MMA fighter like Conor McGregor, I don't think he's ever made $10 million fighting, unless you count the Floyd Mayweather fight.
Oh yeah, he did phenomenally well with the Floyd Mayweather fight. Yeah, they are the best of friends for sure after that fight. But
hey, can I show you an MMA related story?
Please.
All right. So I have a rival. So I stay out of the spotlight as much as possible. But in behind the scenes, I've ever at like conferences, I have a rival by the name of Johnny Kim, who is a Litecoin guy. We met at World Blockchain Conference 2018. We actually had a little MMA match. He was dressed as what was he dressed as, like Litecoin, the Litecoin mascot, the big Chuck E. Cheese thing. Mm-hmm. And we did a skit where like I pushed him and said, no, Bitcoin's awesome, Litecoin sucks. And then he took me down and put me in an arm bar, and I got out of it and took him down and choked him out. And it didn't make any sense because Bitcoin ended up winning because I got the last submission. But we hung out, we're friends. At that same event, I let him know that Ben Askren was following Charlie Lee. And Ben Askren, God bless, he did his best against Jake Paul. God bless. He got screwed in that. He was up. Like when he got hit by Jake Paul, he popped up immediately and they stopped it. Not saying like that wasn't a legit knockout, but that was not a legit stoppage. Anyhow, Ben Askren was following like 30 people, period. Like 30 people. He was being followed by like 1 million, followed 30 people, and most of them were his friends or his own business associations. One of the weird ones was Charlie Lee. Had no connection to. I go, hey, you know that Ben Askren, who just signed with the UFC, they traded their flyweight champion Mighty Mouse to another promotion to get him, which made news, is following Charlie Lee. You should reach out to him and see if he wants to get involved. Well, Johnny did. Couple months later, Litecoin sponsoring UFC, and Johnny's doing a podcast with Ben Askren. And they still have that podcast. It's called a Funky Crypto Podcast. Go watch it. It's awesome. He does it like weekly. And Ben's super into crypto. Like he knows his stuff. And he treats it with respect. And he treats everyone who comes on there with respect. But anyhow, I really want to fight Johnny.
Okay, I was wondering where it was going.
I really want to fight Johnny Kim, and I've joked about it with him every time I see him that I want to, like, hey, if there's ever like a crypto boxing event, because I know Johnny's trying to like have a celebrity crypto boxing event. Maybe we'll see BitBoy face Chico or something. If there's ever, and I know that Crypto Crow is an ex-MMA fighter and promoter. He used to run his own promotion in the Midwest.
He's also like 8.5 feet tall, bro. Crypto Crow, we can't class him with anyone. It's not going to work.
But I'm like, yo, you ever make another promotion, like book me on the card. And I want to go against Johnny Kim so bad. And it's because he's a real tough dude. He's the only guy that I think in this industry that might be able to kick my ass. And I'm not even joking. And we're very friendly with each other. So I think it'd just be great. I want this is what I want for Crypto.com. I want them to sponsor. I want the UFC and Crypto.com to sponsor a big event like Consensus or something. I want them to put a big UFC octagon in the center, right? Just like they do at like the UFC gyms, like for a promotion, right? But then let's actually like sign some waivers and have like crypto celebrity crypto fight just for fun. You know, maybe we can see BitBoy versus Chico. Maybe we can see Roger Ver, who is a brown or black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, go against maybe like Ronis Gracie, who has his own cryptocurrency investment fund, and just keep on going. And I think, John McAfee was still with us. God bless his soul. You know, he'd be in there taking on all comers. And yeah,
no,
if that happens, then yeah, I want to convince Johnny Kim to let me in. But even if it doesn't, even if if they just if Crypto.com just does it for promotion, they put the octagon there in the center of Consensus or World CryptoCon just for show, so you can go in and take pictures, maybe get a Crypto.com shirt, shake hand with Conor McGregor. Maybe we could sneak in once after hours, set up a camera and a live stream. But
man.
That's my ultimate goal for this Crypto.com sponsorship, is that eventually they'll go to a conference, they'll put in an octagon for show, a real full-size actual octagon for show, because it'd be fun, promotional, and then maybe I can convince John Kim to spar me in after hours.
That's awesome, man. No, I love that vision. And to your point, you brought up Roger Ver, and for anybody who's watching who makes like jokes or whatever about Roger, just disagrees with his personal opinions on cryptocurrency, the cryptocurrency space, it's probably best for you to just talk things through with him. Really don't come at him violently, because he's a sleeper. Yeah, yeah.
Well, while we're talking about that, I guess the only other things on my mind before doing the predictions or whatever is, who you think in this industry is actually low. I look like an old bald nerd, you would never think that that picture, that promo picture behind my shoulder there, that was first of all, I'm not conceited enough to hang my own picture on the wall. My girlfriend painted that for me, actually painted it based off of one of my promo pictures on my Facebook, and then gifted it to me for Christmas. And then I said thank you and tried to put it somewhere where it wasn't be seen. And then she hung it on the wall. So,
okay, so that's
enough to put my own shit up there. But I'll give you one, and then you give me one.
Sure.
Robert Beatles of Crypto Beatles YouTube channel. He actually, I know for a fact that he trains at Alpha Male in Sacramento, and he actually was sponsoring some of those guys. I don't know what Marnark, but some of his other ventures in their early careers, the guys like Uriah Faber and so on and so forth. And I know firsthand that being at a convention, I've seen some shit go down, and I know that both Robert Beatles and his son Aaron Beatles can handle themselves. So I don't know what they know. But I know they know something. And that story, that little story, I'm not going to get too into it because it's kind of like a legend, but like in our group, like Elio Trays and then Jason Randall and like there was a lot of people who saw this thing. So I don't know what they know, but they know a lot.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So let me make sure I understood your prediction. Your prediction was that if there's any kind of a matchup between anybody and Robert Beatles, then Robert Beatles is probably going to dominate. He's probably going to come out the top of that card.
He's so nice. He's just a nice, sweet. He's just Robert Robert Beatles will give you the shirt off his own. He'll take his shirt and give it to a stranger who needs it to protect him from the sun. Like he'd go out of his way to help. So to even get to the point where Robert Beatles would have to throw down, like you must have done something terrible, and now your life is in jeopardy. You know.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, oh gosh, I guess you put me on the spot. You talk about people who maybe you wouldn't expect. Here's the thing, like this one I think is a little more expected. More people have seen this side of him, but Ken Bosak. Ken Bosak is a guy who I don't think actually has a whole lot of martial arts training formally. So if you were to like go like whatever, do drills with him and say, hey, we're going to drill to submission. This is a specific progression we're going to do. I want you to pass guard this way, whatever else. He's not going to be that guy. But he's scrappy AF. If you get in his face or if you're a scammer, that dude will, like, with no regard for his own well-being, he'll go apeshit on you. Like,
I got a Ken Bozak story that's somewhat like that. Actually, it ties in with Robert Beatles. I was at some conference in LA in early 2019. Beatles was doing the final conference of the day as the moderator, and Brock Pierce was there, Charlie Lee was there, someone else was there, and Beatles actually asked him a question and said, if you could fight anyone in a mixed martial arts bout, who would it be and why? And they all didn't really, I think Beatles did it himself. I think he said like Muhammad Ali or something. But guys like Brock Pierce and Charlie, they were trying to avoid a question to not. So that kind of got me in my head as well, that Beatles must know some stuff. But while this was going on, the security team walks over and they get Bozak and they tell him to get up. And he's in the front row videotaping. And I mean, the whole conference is going to be over in 20 minutes. The whole 2-day conference over 20 minutes is the last thing of the day. And they start walking him out. And I'm like, okay, I'll go see what's up. So I walk out with them. And someone just didn't like Ken Bozak, said that like he didn't belong. And these security guards do not, they're not crypto guys. They work for the venue. And they see Ken Bozak, who looks like Ken Bozak. And yeah, maybe he did sneak it, right?
wow, that's quite an assumption.
Here's the thing. I went over there thinking that like I was going to have to like defend Bozak, and I did. I say, Bozak, go back inside while I talk to these guys. But Bozak had like this. He wasn't upset. He has like this smile on his face where he was like almost like, really, you guys want to mess with me? And I was like, maybe Bozak knows some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he knows some stuff.
Yeah, he knows. I guarantee you, he knows how to throw hands street style. You've just seen him.
He excited that he got pulled out. He seemed excited this was happening. But eventually, the organizer came out like, Bozak's our guest. Like we literally have him on our promotion material. YouTube, go away. But he seemed very excited that someone was messing with him.
That's funny, man. That is so funny. Yeah. Again, so that's my take on it. That's my sleeper pick is Ken Bosak. Anybody who gets matched up against Ken Bosak on a ticket, like again, probably better for you to just talk things out because you don't know what he knows, but he for sure has thrown hands. He for sure has tried to trade hands with people. So like whatever his fighting style is, like don't go in there cocky and underestimate him.
Here's another one. Charlie Lee.
Okay. Not seeing it.
Does Charlie Lee look dangerous?
No, but he does look calculated.
He's like what? Like a buck 50, buck 40, very, very calm, collective. Charlie Lee wrestled in high school, and he actually was pretty good. There's videos you can find. I can't remember where I saw it, but I saw like Charlie like wrestling like Johnny Kim inside like a pizza parlor or something, and Charlie took him down. Charlie, and that's probably explains a lot why Litecoin was the very first one to sponsor the UFC in December of 2018, like a long time ago. And why a guy like Johnny Kim is such good friends and personal bodyguard of Charlie. Charlie knows, and why Ben Askren's involved, was the first like real UFC MMA fighter to become almost like a spokesperson for a coin. Charlie knows some stuff. I know he knows how to wrestle. I think he knows other stuff as well. And that would be, that has to be the most unsuspecting person ever. And I think one day we will get some video out there. You know, someone tried to mess with Charlie Lee and got messed up. I can't wait for that to happen.
Awesome. Well, hey, why don't we go ahead and wind things down here, guys? Anybody in the audience that wants to toss some questions Adam's way before we call it a day here? I've got some other live streams to get to tonight. I'm going to be on Rice Crypto, Rice TVX, if you want to go check that out tonight. Adam, do you have more stuff like this lined up? Please tell me you do over the weekend. Anything like this?
Well, in the streams, I had a couple guys reach out to me, but you know, I stay out of the spotlight as much as possible. I like to be behind the scenes, and yours, you know, you caught me right when I wasn't doing anything. So
Awesome.
maybe I have some things. You might see me again.
Okay, well, I hope you do this weekend, man.
Rice. Listen to Rice Crypto. Rice is a good friend of mine.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to it, man. Seriously, right? He's a cool dude. I haven't streamed with him in a while, and I was super pleasantly surprised he had an opening for his show tonight too. So I got to get prepped for that. Do a little bit of a homework on our topics, our talking points for tonight. So I got to go in a minute here, but this weekend, man, with it being the McGregor Poirier fight, like, which is, you know, whatever. I don't know your take on McGregor. Everybody's got an opinion and feelings, right, about McGregor. But with a weekend like this, paired with that UFC CryptoCom news, I knew we had to talk about it before the fight. Is nobody else asking you to do like whatever, a watch party and talk about it or whatever?
What are you asking? Anyone on the crypto space wants to live stream and while the event's going on?
Yeah, like a reaction vid, live stream reaction.
That's something that Crypto Crow should probably do. I mean, he has a large audience, and you know, coming from an MMA background himself, like he has a fight under his belt, that would be up his alley. Oddly enough, I've been thinking of, you know, I used to have I was in the video game industry. I used to have my own YouTube channel for video gaming for the company, and you know, I used to Twitch join a stream and stuff, and it was actually pretty good. I really enjoyed it. Of course, when I left the company, they owned the channel. So, but I might be up for making a crypto and MMA channel where maybe like whenever there's an event, because event every weekend, I run down the event, do prediction, do betting lines, and that is how I got into crypto in the first place. Actually, is had to bet on fights, and they like Bodog blocked like my Bank of America card, so I had to get Bitcoin to even bet. That's how I got Bitcoin for the first time. So that's another way that people get into crypto MMA. But maybe do like predictions like MMA, and then have a guy like you or Kevin for Bitcoin for Beginners, or Ryan from Crypto Fiend also hop on and also do predictions for the week on crypto. So it's not just betting on MMA; it's also betting on the crypto space. So maybe like an MMA and crypto hour. I think that might be cool.
For sure, man. Well, hey, I would love it. Put me on the short list for sure. Keep me on the short list, and let me know if and when you want to build that, because I'm fascinated by it. And any excuse to hang with the dudes and watch on the weekend, like definitely carve out that time, and then have crypto be a topic that we can veer into without people being like, nerd, stop talking about that. Like,
yeah, I'd want to get a better camera and lighting so I don't end up looking like Claudio from Crypto's channel. But I'm kidding. I love you, Claudio. I love you. Get better lighting. McGregor or Poirier? Who you got?
Oh my gosh. I think Poirier wants it enough, and I think he's got the skills, and I think that McGregor, as per usual, is he's playing to the audience. He's playing the bad boy now. He didn't used to have to do this so much, but I think all the pre-fight shenanigans that he's engaged in, I think that we're going to see some before and after reels next week of maybe not a KO, but of a defeat. I think we're going to see, and you know, a lot of memes that try to humble him. He doesn't need that, right? Like you said before, he's independently wealthy, right? Millionaire. I don't think he really cares.
He sold proper 12 like Jose Cuervo or Corona or something.
Yeah. So I don't think he really cares. That's why he approaches it with reckless abandon as a showman first, right? Fighter next. It's how he got to where he is, and I think he doesn't really care. But I do think that being like such a jerk about leading up to this fight, I think it's going to make his defeat that much more sweet. And I really do. I see it going Poirier's way.
If Poirier wins, I think McGregor probably retires, fights Jake or Logan Paul, gets a payday, and then becomes an actor or something. I think McGregor will win this bout. I'll tell you why. McGregor has all the skills. This we know. His rise to the top was just phenomenal. Just tooling everyone, had great defensive wrestling, great submission skills. I mean, his only decision win was against Max Holloway, who became one of the best featherweight champions of all time early in their career. Like that was like a prelim fight. He has all the skills. What happened is that with the fame, with everything else, he has too much. He doesn't have the time to concentrate on his training. He lost his way a little bit. He defeated Eddie Alvarez, become a 2-time champion in November 2016, and then the Floyd Mayweather thing happened. And that was the next 2 years of his life. Then he came back to face Khabib from doing boxing for 2 years. That's not gonna go your way. This is not. And then of course the Cerrone fight was whatever. We didn't really learn much there. He murked Cerrone. Cerrone's been on a downturn. God bless him. He's an awesome guy, but he's had a lot of miles on him.
And that was too fast. That was too fast, like you're saying, to determine skills there.
But then Poirier happened, and McGregor wasn't talking shit before that bout. He was very admirable, and he won the first round and lost the second, and got finished. Got hit with the calf kick, which is something that, by the way, Benson Henderson, my buddy from back in the day, he was the first guy to start doing it. But back when McGregor was fighting, not a whole lot of guys did that stuff. So it's new to him. This is a new things he didn't train or learn. All in all, I think if McGregor's ever going to go back to his roots, where he was like, I'm a poor-ass plumber, because he used to be a plumber before an MMA fighter, a poor-ass plumber, I can't even afford, new shoes. Like, I need to scrap and make something of myself. If anything's going to knock down this, multi-millionaire Forbes top 10 grossing athletes down to a level where he needs that attitude to improve himself, that fighting mentality, it was that fight. So either he has it or he doesn't. I think he has it because he's obviously had it for most of his life. He had it for most of his life. There's ever an opportunity to motivate him to get it back, it was that loss to Poirier. So I think he has it, he'll win. But if he doesn't, I think that's the end of it.
Okay, cool. Well, you guys, you heard it here first, right? Adam is saying it's McGregor, most likely.
No, let's have a bet. You took Poirier after McGregor. What do you want to bet?
Let's see. So I've got some energy staked right now against Matic. I'll just transfer right back to you, man.
I'll deny that bet. Here's what I want. If I win, you shave your beard.
What?
And if you win, I grow this out more and then dye it black with some little bits of gray, because we're both bald even though you're wearing a hat.
That's true.
And then I'll even dye my eyebrows, and I'll cosplay as Seth Estrada for a week.
Okay, fair. Gentleman's bet accepted. You guys heard it here. Those are the stakes. I'm down. This works. I gotta warn you though. You might not like what you see underneath here. So careful what you ask for. Here's the thing. Growing a beard, we cover it up. So everybody wins if I win. Just saying. Everybody loses if you win, because I have to shave this off. But I'm down. We'll try this. And we'll see what happens tomorrow night, guys.
All right. I expect your subscribers to hold you accountable for that. Other than that, mind your bid, Seth Estrada. There's absolutely no reason for you to have so little subscribers and views as you do. YouTube's on your ass. I highly suggest that you make an alternative channel, name it something else, do a little something different. Maybe those UFC watch-alongs, you get all of these great subscribers to go over there and eventually see if this one can go to the moon. Because you got all the skills, man. There's no reason for you not to have over 100K right now.
Well, hey, I definitely appreciate that. One thing at a time. I have to shave this beard off after the weekend, and McGregor wins. But then I can go incognito to my other channel. But appreciate that. Hey, audience, thanks so much for being subscribed. On that note, it helps. Thanks for sharing the video. Every little bit helps. Interact, press the buttons. And, of course, with this guy, Adam Charles, look out for him because anywhere you see him, quality follows. So I'm gonna that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Appreciate having you on the show. Guys, I'm going to roll the outro, and I will see you in the next one. thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. If you want to be notified of videos like this in the future, first off, click subscribe, press the bell icon. Additionally, you can sign up for the Mind Your Biz email newsletter. That'll give you exclusive access to certain freebies, notifications for deals within the cryptocurrency mining space, as well as some of our flash sales for merchandise, which you can buy with cryptocurrency. That's right. It's the only cryptocurrency merch that you can buy with cryptocurrency. We practice what we preach. As always, thank you so much for watching. You're the reason I make this media. I love your face, and I will see you in the next one.